Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WCS America Premier League. This is Group B. This is going to be our final series of the night. Scarlet versus State. Already 1-0 for Scarlet. Can State bring it back in game number 2?
It's going to be a very tough match. Scarlet seems to have had his number in that first set they played, and last game didn't really look any different, with Scarlet showing some really just absolutely demolishing play there.
Quite right. Now let's see if our players are ready. State is ready, laughing a bit. He's a bit jovial, so I don't give him that. He's not completely depressed.
He did take out Oz.
He did take out Oz.
That's a very big accomplishment. Oz, of course, one of the premier players on Team Evil Geniuses, are regular on their Pro League lineup as well. So a very big win for State, taking him out. But now he's up against Scarlet. He's down 0-1. If he loses this next map, he's down into the Challenger Division. Of course, there's a lot of great players there. There's no shame to be in a Challenger Division.
Not at all.
But if you got to choose, you know, of course,
yeah,
you'd
you
rather
want to go ahead into, you know, round of 16 if you'd like.
That's where the money and the glory and all the girls are at.
The girls, really?
Well, once you win it, you get the girls.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. All right, guys, game number 2 starting here. It's going to be WCS America's Whirlwind. It's going to be a pretty fun map, I think. Now, I mean, Scarlet has just shown such map dominance against her Protoss opponents. We haven't really seen Scarlet play too many ZVPs in Heart of the Swarm, but definitely showing a very, very strong, solid build order. Every single time, just reading her opponent perfectly, able to grab that map control, able to turn into a huge advantage, and take a victory. So, while we're speaking of Scarlet, spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner, our blue Zerg player from Team Acer, it is Scarlet. And spawning up here in the top right-hand corner, our red Protoss player. He beat Oz. Can he beat Scarlet? It is State.
So Whirlwind's a map that you mentioned is very big, and so far Scarlet has never had a problem against State in really getting that map control in the mid-game. And on a map this big, it's going to be very scary to deal with all her speedlings, her Hydralisk being everywhere. Potentially, we could even see Mulas play, although Scarlet is a player who rarely utilizes those Mulas. So I think it's more likely we'll see some Roach Hydra, or probably just Hydralisk is the main unit being used here. Or she could go back to that mass speeding style.
Yeah, the mass speeding into Ultralisk style.
That could actually be a very good approach to Whirlwind.
Yeah, I mean, using those speedlings, you can get some pretty good advantages by taking out, you know, the third base probability here for State. And if you deny that third base long enough, and you can use it, use just speedlings to do so, I mean, you save so much gas. You can go straight on into that hive very, very quickly and get those Ultralisks out and just kind of bust through the natural base here for State if, you know, the third base is still denied at that point. So some cute little probe micro coming out here from State. Scarlet biting away with her drone.
State is really clicking that mouse. Blocking a hatch for as long as possible. Oh, it gets up, though. That is not what a Protoss wants to have happen. He did a decent job of delaying it for a goodly while. And, of course, his Nexus is almost exactly timed even with that hatchery.
But he's going for the Forge Fast Expand, and with that, there's going to be a wall. He's pretty much forfeiting map control at this point for a little bit, so Scarlet can go for that quicker third base. She hasn't moved a drone out there just yet. Oh, there is a drone moving now. Where's that Zergling? Those are Zerglings.
Just Zerglings.
Oh, cute little Zergling.
You know, they look like a drone on a minimap because they travel in pairs.
That's
Keeping
true.
with that buddy system.
Are you saying drones are, they register with a larger radar appearance? I think the drone is perfect how it is.
I couldn't agree more. The only thing more perfect than a drone is a drone turning into a hatchery.
And that's exactly what just happened here. At the third base, Scarlet now grabbing all those up to 3 bases.
No,
as last time.
Aw, poor little guy.
On the far side of the world here, those two Zergling took out that probe.
He was not the master and commander on the far side.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Definitely not Russell Crowe.
No. The Zerglings, they were more than ready to take on that probe. Now splitting up a bit. One goes away. He says, you know what, you guys? You didn't let me kill that probe. I don't like you anymore. I'm going to go the other way. course, the guy
State
did kill the probe.
building up the wall. There's a photon cannon there, so the Zergling are going to be a little bit reluctant to go straight on and sacrifice lives to try and get into the base. It's okay, because there's not that much going on inside the base anyway. They don't want to go there. It's like being denied at the popular club here in New York City. It's cool. I didn't want to go to that club anyway.
That's right. There's the other one next door. It's New York City, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many clubs. Let's see how these
Club
players are.
STARCRAFT, if you haven't heard about it, doesn't exist.
I was like, really? I haven't seen about that one. State getting this +1 weapons. So we could see a potential timing. +1 weapons before tech building usually means... Wait, but now he's going 4 gas. Huh.
Grabbing a sentry. We're going to have to keep track of that sentry count. He could be potentially turning this into
I feel like
an
I'm
aggressive
watching
opening.
Muchin Stars flying right now. Okay, no, getting the robotics facility.
Could we be possibly seeing an immortal sentry timing?
The robotics facility is so late. I mean, it's about a full minute later than you'd want ideally. So, and the map is so long to cross. That's not a time I think you'd really want to use on Whirlwind. I think he may just be doing maybe Warp Prism Sentry Harass.
That's what I was just thinking up as a secondary tactic there. Going for that, going straight on into the main base, and using the 4 sentries to keep that impenetrable force field up there. As Zerg does not have any massive units.
Now the question,
despite what Axelav thinks about the drone's radar presence, it's not a massive unit.
Well, going for a Twilight Council as well. So we could see some type of +2 play. Continuing probe production. So he's probably going to be looking to take a 3rd base, just not a very fast 3rd base. Scarlet, of course, wants to be scouting out to see exactly when State does go for that 3rd base. Oh, wait, but now he's cutting probes. Actually, we could see a +2 Blinkstalker timing, potentially, after a Warp Prism Harass. So if he can do a lot of damage with the Warp Prism Harass, he could have a really strong follow-up. But if he can't get too much damage done, Scarlet's going to be too far ahead for, this timing follow-up to actually really work.
Chrono boosting that +2 weapons on the Forge. Blink now underway as well. Warp Prism has finished up. Gonna go just straight over with just 1 Stalker.
Okay, so he doesn't want to use any of his sentry energy. That really means he wants to have a ton of force fields ready for when the actual engagement occurs.
He does warp in a couple of Stalkers. Only 2 of them will be able to get... Oh, sorry, all 4 of them. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I don't know why I thought Stalkers were larger than they were in Warp Prisms. Now moving across the map with that Warp Prism.
Hydralisk then going down. Now, Blink Stalkers with sentries are slightly more cost-efficient than Hydralisk in that compositional battle, but remember, Scarlet has the 3rd base, and in these situations, that's going to give her enough units that she should be able to defend if the concaves are good, if the creep spread is good. These things are very important when using Hydralisk against a Blink Stalker Sentry combination. It's all about the positioning.
State's Warp Prism play very cute here, not taking any damage from the Zergling coming around here with the Observer, taking out so many creep tumors.
This is so important if you want to use a follow-up timing to make sure that you can always fight the Zerg off the creep, but to do that, you have to kill those creep tumors first. Oh, be careful, Warp Prism.
Oh no, the last Stalker gets caught. Hydra's also out here on the map, and that Warp Prism's going to move right in front of the Hydras.
It went the wrong direction, but
they're kind of coexisting. That's cool. Everything's cool here. Oh, nope, never mind.
Hydra decided it's not cool.
Oh, the Hydra's just barely out of range with the range upgrade, just about to finish up, but not in time.
So many speedlings trapped. A big win for State, and actually, even though he cut probe production, he's actually going to a 3rd base. But I think this may be a... Oh, no, now it's rebuilding probes. I was thinking it might be a fake 3rd base, where he's wanting Scarlet to tech up, and he's just going to move across the map, sack the 3rd base, and go for a big attack.
But Scarlet lost a lot there with the Zergling. Now can't really put on too much pressure. Has to run back home. Tail between the legs. Well, Hydras don't really have legs. Tail where the tail should normally be. And State, I mean, in a pretty good position right now.
He's definitely got that 3rd base going up. He's got to really crank up his worker count, though, only at 54 versus Scarlet 76. Scarlet also getting a lot of upgrades. Infestation Pit is completing. She's probably going to go straight to Hive to be able to utilize those Vipers against the Colossi, or perhaps actually just mass a lot of Swarm Hosts.
And it looks like she's going to go for the Swarm Host strategy once again. We already see the Locust upgrades coming out here, and 5 Swarm Hosts. Using the synergy there of the missiles and Carapace is going to, goes to those Locusts. Locusts do a lot of damage, and upgraded Locusts obviously do even more damage. And that's going to be a really, it's a really strong amount of map control. It's very static map control. Those Locusts are able to keep Protoss pretty much at bay at the bases that they have. As long as the Protoss doesn't engage at the exact time that those Locusts come out. As we were noted before, the Colossus damage could potentially splash and kill those the Swarm Hosts as the Locust pop.
Scarlet keeping an Overseer with her army. Definitely an important part of playing Zerg. You always want to make sure you kill any potential observers, especially if you want to hide your unit combination. And also, especially if you're going Swarm Host, any observer you kill, they have to rebuild, because without an observer, they can't see those burrowed units. State moving out on the map. He's going to take the Watchtower. Against Swarm Host, Protoss wants to occupy as much of the map as possible. No Mothership Core with this army. So there's no option for a recall. If he overextends, his whole army could go down. He's got to be so careful.
Swarm Hosts pop out their Locust. Locust now moving across the map very, very quickly because they are on creep.
But they're going the wrong direction. They're going to the right. State's going to the left. Scarlet is going to have to give up the space.
And with a ramp there, it's going to be very easily force fielded if those sentries actually move over there to get into a position. But he's going to use the mobility of those Stalkers with Blink to be able to blink out and put Scarlet into a difficult position here.
Scarlet,
using this ledge as a huge pivot point for his army. Forces the Locust to go one way, moves the army the other way.
Scarlet's probably going to stay on the defensive until she can get several Vipers out. Vipers very, very well in conjunction with Swarm Hosts. You can send the Locusts out and use Abduct to pull your opponent's units into those Locusts.
Meanwhile, State, using the fact that Scarlet's army has to be ready for State's army, is going to grab Warp Prism speed. And behind that... I'm sorry, that was Gravatic. Sorry, Gravatic, that's Observers. So, Observers are going to be faster then. But also grabbing a Dark Shrine.
Really trying to play the mobility game is State, knowing that you never want to fight the Zerg player using Swarm Host straight up. DT is going to take out this left side base. Meanwhile, State pushes in on the bottom. Spine Cores are not yet finished.
Locusts are unable to attack. Force fields very well placed here by State. State taking a pretty commanding lead here. Everything's being completely burnt, but one Colossus is caught by the Viper. Locusts going down very, very quickly. Of course, they are expendable as they keep coming in.
So far, State mostly killing Locusts. Another Colossus gets yanked in and taken out very quickly. State has got to get out there as he's continuing to lose units, and all he's killing is Locusts. He was able to defend this 4th base, though. That's going to help him a lot.
DT's at the natural, going to be able to try and take out that natural base. Unfortunately, an Overseer, actually a Spore Crawler is actually going to see those DTs. And with the Hydras coming in there, are going to clean it up very, very quickly. But still, DT's being very, very pesky for Scarlet.
More DTs coming in here. Is there... Okay, there's detection.
28 workers killed so far here.
Nice damage being done by State, of course.
4th base going up here for State.
Not yet mined from that 4th. Adding a 2nd Robo. High Templar Archives knows he needs those High Templar to combat the Vipers. Scarlet with so many Swarm Hosts here. They're heading across the map. 24 Swarm Hosts out on the map. That's 48 Locusts per wave.
That is a crazy army. That is a crazy
Swarm Host
army.
leading the charge. Decides to scuttle backwards, but another Swarm Host deciding he's going to show the Locusts. You got to send the General in with the recruits.
Oh, man. And here come those Stalkers. Stalkers not too good against those Locusts, but still getting a pretty... That's an okay engagement there for State. But, another huge wave coming out here.
Is there such a thing as an okay engagement against Locusts?
I don't know. I mean, every single time you fight them, it's just you're going to lose shields, you're going to lose health, you're going to lose everything. Force fields do go down, wasting out the life there of those Locusts. He just needs to keep crawling forward, and if he can engage on top of those Swarm Hosts...
Oh, Colossus gets yoinked, torn to pieces. Oh, even yoinking a Stalker here and there. Every single... Oh, taking Mothership Core, but there's nothing that shoots there, so... Just kind of yanking it around. Making a pilot get a little bit dizzy. More and more Locusts keep coming out. State, like you mentioned, needs to find a way to actually get at those Swarm hosts. As long as Scarlet is careful, though, and retreats him, it's going to be very difficult for him to actually get that engagement. He's looking for Vipers come forward yet again. Using
Vipers come in,
but there's no Locust, so...
Trying to grab the Colossus, does grab the Colossus the second time, is able to pull them into all the Locusts. Unfortunately here, State is just taking so many losses. And, I mean, Scarlet, all she has to do is just keep waiting for those the energy of the Vipers to keep regenerating.
And Mortal gets yanked around. Lucky there weren't actually 4 Locusts almost killed that Mortal in like 2 seconds. Locust, of course. Oh,
Locust,
finally State circumventing. Oh, if he waits for the next Locust round. No, he's going too early. The Locust round just pops out, but he's still going to be able to pick off a couple of these Swarmos. Oh, but the Stalkers used up their blink, getting melted. Transfuse is going down as well.
And with the Queens, the Locusts, and everything else here, Spinecrawler is also trying to burrow. Oh my, State takes a huge loss here. It's 132 to 178 in the supply count.
Die. The Swarmos, excuse me.
And the Stalkers are all going down. And wow, with so many transfuses, that Swarm host stays alive.
State being forced back now down to 148 supply. He's got 4 bases, a lot of economy, but he continues to lose unit. She just abducted Observer, didn't she?
That actually takes out the Observer. And is that the only Observer out here for State?
It is. He's trying to rebuild another one.
So now he can't actually take out the Swarm host, even if he does get into a position where he can get at them.
Oh man, more Swarm hosts coming up here to the 4th base. State's gonna send in the Zealots, but they don't want to have any piece of those Locusts.
The Zealots instantly rout, deciding to go against State's decision.
More and more Spine Cores being constructed by Scarlet. She's just creeping all over the map, but State again circumventing. Scarlet didn't see this coming. Didn't reposition the Swarm hosts.
But the Locust spawn right as State tries to engage. Here come the Vipers. Vipers have a lot of energy, abducting both of the Colossus, going straight on into the middle of the swarms. And unfortunately, it's all of the Robo Facility units here have been completely abducted, except for one Immortal. He's our champion. And this is a very difficult battle here for State.
It is, hanging on to 4 bases, but Scarlet is up to 5. Scarlet down to 54 drones. She's been turning them all into spine crawlers. A lot of gas build up for Scarlet, but not many minerals because of all those spine crawlers she's been building.
Look at the units lost tab. State is almost doubled in units lost and resources.
More than.
And, you know, Locusts just keep pouring in time and time again. These sentries can't keep force fielding this ramp. There's not enough. There's not enough. Archon's
the Locusts
trying to
step
go
around the edge, but they do buy enough time for the Locusts to time out. But now there's no more force fields, and the next wave of Locusts is advancing.
And she just needs to wear down State, and she's doing it pretty well. Vipers try to come in here, try to abduct something into the middle of the Swarm hosts.
It's a funny little abduct.
This is difficult. This is a very difficult spot here for State. He stayed alive so far.
Yeah, this is true. He's not dead yet. Oh, one Swarmos
He's
getting
not
bold.
dead yet.
He's killed a Swarmos. Greater Spire being transformed, so Scarlet is able to develop that mineral bank. She could get 4 more Vipers. She really wants to have fun with these abducts, even just abducting Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, she's just gonna abduct anything that she can. Scarlet taking the UFO stance here. And coming in here, doing so much damage. We can hear so many cries of Zealots going down. And it's just, you know, time and time again, these Locusts, as soon as he holds off one,
comes in, and they all die.
And yeah, with too many Spine Crawlers, there's Hydras, there's everything, there's Overseers, and there's just nothing that State can do with so many Swarm hosts down his throat. I mean, there's just nothing he could have done there. Instantly regenerating an entire army every couple of seconds, and every time that army engages, it takes out a little bit by a little bit.
You know, he tried to go around the Locust several times, and he got a couple decent engagements, but by the time he circumnavigated and got into those Swarmos right here, he had already lost all of his Colossi. He didn't have any Templar for feedbacks, he didn't have any Psy Storms, and without Colossi and Templar, even if you can get a jump on the Swarmos, as he was able to do, it just didn't really matter. And
there's that Swarm host taking infinite amount of transfuses to stay alive. That Swarm host, you just can't kill it. So that'll be a 2-0 here for Scarlet against State. Scarlet's going to proceed on to the round of 16. State is knocked down to the challenger bracket, and that's it for our series today.
That's right. Our players winning this group are Violet and Scarlet. Don't go anywhere, though, because we're about to have an interview with Violet right after this commercial break.